Hey guys, what's up? It's Morgan from BragHer. During Women's History Month, I got to talk to a bunch of inspiring women that are in streaming in order to promote the smaller voices that make up 35% of Twitch streamers. We covered things like safe spaces in a community, what it is to be a woman on Twitch and just the video game industry in general, and just some personal questions. The streamers I got to interview happen to be some of my favorite streamers on Twitch. Frank the Pegasus, Tactical Grandma, Cat Liente, and Kelsey Plays. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and see what they had to say.
I am Kelsey, or Kelsey Plays on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kelsey.
Hi, my name is Kat, but my alias online is Cat Liente, and I've been streaming on Twitch now for 3 years, and we've been Twitch partners for about a year now.
Hi, my name is Tactical Grandma. I'm a content creator. I stream on Facebook Gaming, where I'm a partner. I stream on Twitch, and I stream on TikTok. I started when I was 7 and Pong came out, but then we had Atari 2600. The interesting thing is my mom loved a video game too. So we would sit around as a family. I have an older brother. So my mom, my dad, and my brother would sit around and take turns playing, 2v2, whatever we were playing. It's like Bomberman, crackpots where you had to drop the pots down. But a lot of Atari 2600 games we played as a family and just sat around Sunday afternoons playing them.
After 3 years of begging, my brother finally convinced me to play League of Legends. So at like 15, 16 years old, I finally picked up League of Legends. It was like end of season 5 going into season 6, and then I got really hooked.
I got into gaming so long ago. I love the old school Star Wars, CSGO. So yeah, I've just been like a nerd my whole life.
I grew up in a family of gamers, so I guess I really got started gaming as like a small little bean in that I would watch people play games. I don't know that I actually played my first game until I was an adult and I was able to buy my own consoles because I grew up with older brothers and they had the consoles. They had like a lovely little loophole where they had to share, but I wasn't allowed to delete any of their save files. So they would just like fill up all of the save files and then I wouldn't be able to play, which was very clever. But it just meant that I watched a lot of gaming growing up. After, while I was in college, I got my first console. I got myself an Xbox, a used Xbox, and I played Left 4 Dead with a friend of mine. And then it kind of just went from there. And I discovered the games that I actually enjoyed and kind of continued my own journey on my own.
So I started streaming in 2014. I actually am renamed after my role model in streaming. So Kitty Plays, I watched her for years and she was like the top female streamer at the time. She was almost like the only big, Twitch streamer at the time. And I really looked up to her, and that's how I kind of started watching streams all the time. And then I pretty much started streaming that same year.
My son kept trying to get me to watch people on Twitch. And I'm like, I don't want to watch people play video games. That's stupid. I mean, that's how I felt about it. I'm like, I just want to play them. I was a mom, I had time. And I'm like, if I have time, I'm going to play. I'm not going to watch. And then the way Facebook works, because it's a social media platform, I was just scrolling through and streamers would come up on my feed. And so I started watching them. Full Shark and Darkness 429. They were playing Fortnite. They were hilarious. They were fun. It was entertaining. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun to watch. By this time, my kids were grown and I wasn't raising kids anymore.
Right.
So my husband's like, we'll get you a PC since you like the game. I'm retired, not doing anything. So he got me a PC and I learned mouse and keyboard. And then both him and my son were like, now that you have a PC, you should probably stream. And I'm like, no one's going to watch someone my age play video games. And they're like, you have nothing to worry about that if no one's going to be there.
So I went into streaming literally knowing nothing. I only knew about Tyler 1 and I knew about Pokemon. So I had two very skewed perceptions of Twitch, and the way it was kind of put to me was just oh, if you're cute and attractive, then you'll do well. And then so I go on and they got me to streaming. So I started streaming and then I was like, wow, this is not the case. Either I am not cute and attractive like I thought, or it's much harder than I thought. But yeah, so then I started streaming and then I ended up quitting because I was given an ultimatum to quit streaming, or basically they threatened to break up with me if I didn't quit streaming. So I was forced to quit, and then that relationship later ended. I really enjoyed streaming, so I picked it back up on and off throughout college. I picked it up again and I went balls to the walls like 20, 25 hours a week on streaming, and then haven't looked back since. My biggest flex is being on famous birthdays. They reached out to me and they're like, we want you on famous birthdays. I almost didn't respond because I thought it was scam. I was like, no way in hell would somebody reach out to me. Like, what the fuck? And then I looked at the email address and it was like something to famous birthdays. It looked official. So I was like, I might as like, they're asking for my birthday. That's all I could tell them. It's fine. And then I look on the site and I'm there and I'm like, what? So that's my biggest flex today. I am thoroughly mind blown.
For me, it always comes back to places where the community really is able to come together and do something really impressive and important and meaningful. I think one of my favorite moments of success was when we kind of almost impromptu decided to raise money last year for Black Lives Matter protests, and we raised money for some folks that were basically in jail, wrongfully jailed. This success, I guess, is a little bit twofold because not only did we raise just a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm so proud of this wonderful, small, tiny, lovely space that I've created and all of the people in it, but also a particular organization that we raised money for. It was the LGBTQ Freedom Fund. I reached out to them and said, hey, do you mind if I raise money for you? It would involve you getting onto this platform. And I know that you're maybe not familiar. Let me explain all of that to you. I got them involved with a tertiary platform called Tiltify, where folks will raise money for charity and it helps kind of integrate into Twitch. And through doing that, a bunch of other people also raised money for them. So I was indirectly involved in them having this huge boom in donations during that time, which was just a really special thing to see because it incorporated not only Pride Month, but then also the Black Lives Matter movement kind of into one. So that moment is just a really special thing, I think, for me, because it was not only my community coming together to do something, but then like the Twitch community as a whole coming together for this organization. And I was like, I had a tiny little hand in that, and that's cool.
Communities that are popping up, it's really about finding that community that you feel a part of and safe within, right? Because every community is going to be completely different. So for me, that's been, Nerdy Girl Network, Team Kitty, the Brag House, right? Places where I feel safe that I can not only express myself, but be myself at the same time, right? And know that no matter what I do, I'm not going to be attacked for it or ridiculed or essentially hunted down for being me.
I mean, for me personally, a safe space is just some place that you can be authentically yourself and express your opinions without being afraid to do so. And without people jumping down your throat for you think, like, you can agree to disagree, and it's okay for people to have disagreeing opinions, but it's not okay to attack people or just thinking a certain way. Well, I mean, I guess there's exceptions to it, but I mean, for the most part, if it's a harmless opinion, like, I like it when people are just true to themselves, and I want to create a space where people can do so and pursue their dreams about streaming and content creation without getting mocked and ridiculed for pursuing something that the standard society deems as outlandish.
I would definitely say that for me, it's a place where people can come no matter what their gender, their ethnicity, what they identify as, anything like that they can just come and hang out and be themselves without anybody harassing them for being who they are. Yeah, we don't tolerate anything. I mean, even in chat, like, honestly, I could care less if someone comes in and says I'm trash at the game because it's just part of streaming. But if someone were to come in and I look over and they're saying something to one of my community members,
right,
they're out faster than they can even expect, because
let the ban hammer come down.
We just don't accept it.
And I've always told my mods, if it's not attacking the community, it's like if it's just an attack on me, that's less of a priority. So if it's attacking a community and it's attacking a group of people and not specifically directed at me, that's the bigger priority. I want that out because that is people that I like, maybe I identify with, maybe I don't, but there is a whole group of people that are being affected by that. I think for me, a lot of the safe spaces that I experience have actually been on Twitch. I can think of lots of people's different chats that I have been to, and I have said, this is a really lovely thing that I'm going to adapt into my own channel.
I feel like for me, I'm a very blunt and very confrontational person. So I am not afraid to fight. And every time people pull up and they spew an ounce of BS, I just ban them out of my stream, instantly gone. And I don't
well, the ban hammer is pretty strong. So just the main thing is also finding moderators that are like you, right? It's finding moderators that have the same vibe.
Well, I mean, they're not getting told to make a sandwich every day, making me cookies. You're trash.
Oh,
You only get
no.
views because you're a female. And I mean, granted, I don't get a lot of what people your age get as a female because I am older. I am more wrinkly. I do get commented on my looks and my wrinkles and stuff like that, which usually the guys, they don't do that too, right? But I mean, I'm like, well, duh, I'm a grandma. Of course, I have wrinkles, but whatever.
The thing that I noticed the most is how many comments about my ability and my looks I get throughout a stream. It doesn't matter. That's the end of that sentence. It does not matter what I'm doing, what I'm playing, how good I am, what I look like, what I'm wearing. There is bound to be some kind of comment that comes in every single stream that is either questioning my ability as both a streamer and a gamer, or the way that I look and what I'm wearing.
Oh, I mean, I could go on this on and on and on. It's like the usual spiel, you know, like a lot of my male friends, even though like some of them will get harassed, but it's not to the level that female streamers get harassed. And I think it's just different. I'm not saying one is necessarily better than the other because harassment sucks all around, but it sucks when you feel like you can't talk about your experience because it gets invalidated because of things that you can't control.
As a streamer, there's a limit for women. You know, you get online and immediately people think like, oh, you're pretty, you're only making money because you're pretty, or you're only successful because you're pretty. But then there's also the other side of, I'm not that successful. Does that make me not pretty? And so it's the harsh realities of like being a girl and thinking, oh, my success is going to be connected to my looks, right? And that's for not just like me, but like the younger generations to come is, you know, really important for us as like female women now to be those role models that like, what is pretty? You know, just be you, have fun, play these games. Don't care about what people think about your appearance, and don't let your success, you know, be based on appearance.
I think one of the biggest advantages to being a woman in streaming is that there are so many other really wonderful and supportive women in the industry. They really are just there to support each other, lift each other up. There's always this feeling that there's competition in streaming. But for me, the non-men in this space are just wonderful. Like folks that are the queer community, the female community, like all they're just there to say, listen, we're all in this. We're all struggling. Let's just like love one another and talk each other up and praise each other and be there for each other. I think more and more we're seeing equality come into the world between the sexes. And I specifically say between men and women because there are so many other places in which equality is just simply not there. And I think as you add on those marginalizations, it becomes even harder to say that, yes, we're all sitting at an equal place. But I think the more we see it overall in the world, the more we're going to see it in the gaming space. And I actually, in a lot of ways, think that the gaming space is kind of ahead of the curve. I think that it's still so obvious that we see mansplaining and sexism and just all kinds of things going on in the gaming space that it's not something that I think we're going to see in the next year or two. But I think the more we see women in places of power and the more we see prominent, successful women in the gaming space, the more we're going to see that we deserve respect. We deserved this space. We are also a part of the gaming community and have been for so long. We're here and we're excited to be here. And we just want to share the thing that you love with you. Let us do that.
I think women are the future of gaming and women are the future of esports. And I do think that in our lifetime, maybe we probably won't get to equality, but I definitely will see that women will become a very standard and very dominant voice in the industry and in industries across the board.
I think it's really bright because I think we've made progress. Obviously, from the time when I was first playing Call of Duty in pubs online to now, it's still toxic, but it's not as toxic. So we've made progress. There's more women who are becoming developers of games. There's more women working in eSports. So I think that it's growing and it's improving. And then if we keep doing this and keep speaking up, it's just going to get better.
I think the future is super bright. I think it is the absolute sun. I think now that companies have, realized the importance of having not just men, but men and women. One, because it's more people, right? Like you have this whole, like they've only been marketing to, men, which are maybe taking up 50%, whereas this other side is all women, right? That, aren't being catered to essentially. Like we've been waiting for, the characters in games to play because, women play too. And that's like a big portion of the community that has been left out for so long.
Do it. My advice for people that want to get into, anybody that wants to get into gaming, is to just do it. If you are interested and you like the thing, just go for it. And I know it can be intimidating to enter a space, either as a person. This is true for anything though, right? Like if you are an adult and you are entering a space where people have been doing the thing that you want to be doing for a really long time and they're already good at it, it can be so intimidating to start and be a beginner. And I think so much of the time we stop ourselves from doing the things that we are really interested in and that we are really excited by because we fear being bad at it, or we're bad at being bad at it. And if there's any skill that I could give anybody, it would just be to sit with being bad at something and allow yourself to be bad at something, because eventually you're going to get better at it.
It's hard. It's easy to say, but don't let the negative guys that say to you, because there are plenty of guys out there that stream that are so supportive. There's plenty of women out there that are so supportive. I would say, like, surround yourself, try to find yourself a group of not just female streamers. I think it's important as a female to have female streamers, but some males around you too that are supportive, that will kind of speak up for you, that will kind of stand up for you and not let you kind of be bullied, but really just be yourself and show them that you can do it just as much as they can. It doesn't matter.
I would say, honestly, like, find a community. Like, there's a lot of Discord servers out there. There's a lot of content creators who are very like focused on building a community for women and making a safe space for women on the internet. Like, find that safe space, find that community. It is out there. Like, it might take, unfortunately, a little bit of work to find it, but you want to surround yourself with people that make you feel good and that make you feel safe. And there's people like that in the gaming industry and in the esports industry. A lot of people want to go and tear you down and will want to not see you succeed. And if you give them the liberty of not giving it your best, they won. Like, they don't want you to succeed. They win if you give in. So don't give them that luxury of, not putting in your effort. Don't give them that luxury of not seeing you succeed. Go stream. Go be the next big streamer. Go be the next Pokemon. And then when these rats come back and try to grab for an ounce of your clouts, throw it back in their face.
I actually asked the same question to my role model recently, and I loved her answer of just do it. Just get in there and do it, because we live in a world where everything has been male dominated, and it won't change until we get out there and we, put ourselves in those places that are male dominated, right? So, and I love the fact that streaming has become such like a modern thing to do now. Like, everybody's getting into it, everybody's doing it. And I don't think, it's the same as YouTube. Like, just make the video, just press go live. Because the more of us that are streaming, it'll eliminate those stigmas and stuff across the board.
That's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, follow, comment, subscribe, whatever it is. Join our Discord. The links for that and all of our socials are in the description down below. Be sure to download the BragHer app, which is available on the App Store and Google Play. All right, guys. As always, brag on and BragHer. Catch you later.